I'm here. All right. I am assuming it's going to be a low turnout and probably a short stream since everybody is busy, probably melting. Uh, Unless you live in the southern hemisphere, I guess maybe it's not summer there, but that aside, everybody else, yeah. Okay. I'll sit here and look bored for a couple minutes because there says right now there's only one person in the stream. Oof. So my phone says 3, but YouTube says 1. That is a discrepancy that should never happen. Hey heroes, hey Cal, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I just had to check and see when the last time was I did a live stream. It was 11 days ago, and I'm not joking. I didn't think it was that that recently. I thought it had been well over 2 weeks. But apparently it was only 11 days ago for the Superman and Lois finale, which I did not think was only 11 days ago. That also seems like it was 2+ weeks ago. Crazy. I have been up to much of nothing. I mean, I've done some things, did some music events and stuff like that, but I've been pretty bored lately. So I guess time has just not gone as fast as I thought it was. With Superman and Lois season over, when do you usually watch Secret Invasion? I've never watched it. I am currently all of the episodes behind on it. I don't even know how many episodes there are in the season, how many they've aired, anything like that. I know nothing about the show still. Are those new glasses? Technically. So I'll go to like the dollar store and like, ow, I've also got a sore shoulder right now, so stretching is kind of a nuisance. I'll buy like a pile of them at once so that if a pair breaks, I've got other ones just ready to go. So I probably bought them a while ago, but they're new to you guys, I guess. Yeah. My last pair, I can't remember what happened to. Oh, the side of the frame cracked or something. They still technically would sit on my face, but they were kind of like lopsided just enough that it was annoying me. So change to the next ones. All right. Those are fake glasses? Nope, they're real. See? Oh, fucking shoulder. I think I got bursitis again. See? Real glasses. You can see there's a frame on them. Even says how strong they are right there. All right. Anybody got any fascinating topics that I might have some input on? Because I have nothing today, guys. I don't even know what's been going on. I'm so out of the loop. I think the last thing I remember hearing about was they had cast that new Superman, and that was at the same time as the last finale, or the season finale of the show. So I don't think I've heard a piece of news since then. Has anything happened? Have they restored the Snyderverse yet? Or have they given a green light to Green Arrow and Canaries? Have they saved Legends of Tomorrow? I don't know what's going on. On the Cosmic Circus, we had rumored Armor Wars plot. I don't know what any of that means at all. I don't know who the Cosmic Circus is. I don't know what Armor Wars plot means. None of that means anything to me. Summer lull used to be the time where I would always get frustrated at this time of year because I would be getting all these big scoops because the start of the season would usually be the first week or two of July. But because everybody is on vacation, Nobody's sitting at home looking at the computer. No one's reading Twitter or anything like that. I would always break these big scoops, and they would go practically unnoticed throughout the summer. And then, people would be like in like late August, September, when they're starting to think about looking into TV shows, would all of a sudden start mentioning these things to me, and I'd be like, I'm the one that told everybody 2 months ago, but there's nothing going on. There's no filming going on. We have the Leo Awards, which is the local awards for like British Columbia film and TV, going on right now. First night was last night. Second night's tonight. And I talked with a couple of the people there very briefly yesterday, and they're kind of in a holding pattern. Even though, like, if the writer's strike were to get solved, the actor strike is still a thing, and even though it doesn't impact Canadian actors, it would impact them in the sense of nothing can move forward if American actors are the leads of the show, right? So, for instance, say you're a Canadian actor and you're working on Superman and Lois. You're still out of work because the Americans are the leads of the show. So there's not much that's going on here at all, and there's even less every day. Things are winding down. I haven't looked at the production list in weeks because of the fact that there's basically nothing here to discuss, right? Like we don't have projects here right now. Let me see how many projects are actively working. I mean, that technically starts tomorrow, so I guess there's 1, 2, assuming that one goes forward. 3. Okay, so there's 3 projects for feature movie section that are supposed to start this month, but we could have an actor strike any day. So will they even start? Who knows? We then have 1, 2. Nope, that one's wrapped. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 TV movies and 1 TV show currently filming, and then there's like 3 or 4 things that they've got start dates, but I can see all of those getting canceled, as soon as the writer's strike or the actor strike happens. Like something called The Recruit is supposed to start on August 1st, but you can't do that if you don't have actors. Same with Wild Cards, When Calls the Heart, Sight Unseen. These are all shows that were supposed to start in late July, early August. But I mean, if we don't have actor strike isn't resolved, they can't do that. And like I said, there's like 3 feature projects. There's something called Can I Get a Witness, which is supposed to start literally tomorrow. Final Destination 6, and then something called The Bearded Girl. So these are other projects that might start here, but they are currently, I would say, in a holding pattern until we find out more. But yeah, at the moment, practically nothing, which is why I have been very, 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 very bored enough that I've started doing the occasional music act, and I hate going for music. Hello, Laura. Welcome. There's a Tegra movie coming. Obviously, I mean, shouldn't there be? I went to a movie and saw the Sound Freedom. It was a really good movie, and it was a tough subject. Oh, okay, cool. What was the subject? I mean, try and keep it like something that's not gonna like trigger YouTube, but yeah. I haven't gone to a movie since The Flash. I'm probably going to go see Mission Impossible because I've loved all the other ones. I think I'm going to go see that this upcoming week. Again, very bored, and I love the series, so I will probably go see it. Hey, Defunct, welcome, welcome. Flash Midnight Circus podcast is sadly a sequel to the Ezra Flash movie. I have no idea what that means. You keep bringing up all these things I've never heard of. Don't have a clue what podcast you're talking about. No idea at all. you may as well have invented words because all of it would have had the same meaning to me. That's how out of the loop I am. I have no idea what that means. I mean, I'm sure it means something to somebody, but it doesn't mean anything to me. What is going on these days? That's keeping everyone else busy. I need to find something to kill my time. I'm actually thinking of possibly getting Netflix just so I can catch up on The Blacklist. That's how bored I am. I mean, I love The Blacklist, one of my favorite shows, but I hate catching up on things. I hate it. But yeah, there's nothing else going on. And I mean, I have very little work going on. GeoGuessr has pissed me off enough that I might give that a break again. So, like, I don't know what to do with my time, man. What the hell is going on with YouTube, man? Why does it always pause up on this shit? There we go. All right, let's see. Subject about basically is children being. I see. Okay, I see. Let's see what Cal has to say with this super chat. Is Superman and Lois getting delayed later than 2024? Improbable. Not impossible. Highly improbable. I think what really will happen, though, is I could see, depending how long the writers and actor strikes stretch out, I could see them holding on to it until the fall of 2024, like an October release date, then run it through to December. I could see that happening. That would depend how long this strike lasts, though. They're not going to want to start it. They're not going to want to start airing it in like July because no one's watching TV. So they will either air it in like April, May with a June end date, or they will just hold off on it until October, maybe September, something like that. It's going to be one of those two things. The likelihood of it going into 2025, the strikes would have to be monumentally long. Like I'm talking, the writer strike would have to last 6 months for that to happen, or the actor strike would have to last 3 or 4 months for that to happen. So likelihood of that super, super, super low. Not impossible, I guess, but super, super, super low. You want me to set up an Arrowverse Hunger Games for you this week? Paige usually does those since you are bored. Bored and sitting around and specifically checking in to see if someone is on at a specific time aren't the same thing. I mean, I'm bored, but I haven't watched an after party in probably a month because they're just not on at a time when I'm at the computer. Being bored and sitting around and watching something at a specific set time aren't always conducive. There's lots of things I'd love to do, but then I'm sleeping during it, It just is how it is. Or a GeoGuessr stream. I'm kind of off GeoGuessr at the moment. I still am playing it. But I am playing it as little as possible because I'm really annoyed with them right now. My subscription ends in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, somewhere like that. And as of right now, I'm not renewing it. Not. And it's funny because this is the exact same thing that happened last year. Last year, my subscription ended in early June or something like that. And I had a issue with them. I was holding out for a while, finally decided to cave in after a month, and then had a pile of problems paying for my service. So it ended up being 5 or 6 weeks that I boycotted them last time. And it's funny because last year at that time, I had a plan before they started pissing me off. Was I was obviously going to pay for my own subscription. Then I was going to buy like 5 extra ones to just give out to people on streams randomly. But they pissed me off so much that in the end they only got the money for mine. Here's the kicker. From about March or early April until maybe 3 weeks ago, they've been doing really good. They've made some good changes. They hadn't made anything that pissed anyone off in a little bit. They were kind of going the right way. And then just in the last 2 or 3 weeks, they have alienated so many people, myself included, with all the changes to the game that I was in the my budget's a little tighter this year, but this time I was being like, I'll buy my subscription and buy like 2 more to give out on stream. They're about to lose that money again, which means over the course of 2 years, because of their decisions, they will have lost 7 extra subscriptions, including the ones that I would have given them. But they'll eventually get, like, when I say I'm going to boycott them, I know that's only going to last like 2 to 8 weeks. Like, I think the longest I would like boycott them is probably until September, but that's extra money they would have got out of other things, but they fucked around so much and pissed everybody off that I'm at that point where I'm kind of like, no, I'm not giving you guys more money than you need. The largest creator on the game, the most famous map maker they had, quit the game a while ago, and then literally yesterday deleted his whole account, including the maps he created. The most popular creator-made map ever in the history of the game doesn't exist anymore. And he put out a big statement about it and all that stuff. And, yeah, that's where everyone's mindset right now that is a regular player is anywhere from mildly tolerating acceptance to livid considering quitting over things that have happened just in like the last few weeks, It's just, I don't even know what to... I've never watched a game... I mean, I also don't play a lot of games, but I've never watched a game alienate their base so fast as this one, GeoGuessr is a pay game? Well, there is a free version, but free version comes with limits. You have to wait something like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes in between games. And there's ads in there and all that stuff. But you can pay a subscription rate, which is like $25 for a year or $3 a month, which is pretty cheap, like $3. People barely even recognize that they paid $3. $25 is a one-time purchase for a year. Most people don't notice that. So, it's a pretty small expense. But yeah, it's a pay game in the sense of to play unlimited games cost you money. And that's understandable because their service relies on Google Maps. And to use Google Maps, they have to pay Google for those services. I can show you a perfect example of how expensive that gets. Give me a second. Hello, Heartbeat and Chosen. I'll read what you guys have to say there in a minute. I just am going to bring this up. So give me a minute. The page I'm pulling up is very slow, so it's going to take a minute for that to load. So I'll just read what you got here. Hey, dude, how did the other flash sales go? It went okay. I've got a couple more things down the line. I have a lot, like, okay. Give me a second here. Okay. This box is full of stuff from the sale. This tub is full of stuff from the sale. And then back here, I've got an assortment of like pillows from the sale. So I've got a lot of stuff left from the sale, and I'm basically a broken even on it so far. But I kind of lost my motivation to like work my way through it. I've got a bunch of items I still got to tag and all that. It's a process. Plus, it's summer now, so no one's on the computer just checking things out, right? So it is really just a challenge. All right. We'll do June. We'll do June just so you guys can get an idea. Give me a second to pull that up. Right. All right. So this is one of their competitors. And when I say competitor, there's a vast difference between the amount of players GeoGuessr and Geotastic have. Geotastic has like 4% of the players they have. But you'll get an idea of the cost it is to run this game because of Google through looking at their numbers. Because they actually show theirs on their website because their service is entirely donation-based. So here is a look at theirs. They actually show the statistics for every month. So their total server expenses is 90 euros. That's to run their website, okay? Their total donations last month was 1,800 euros. Total ad revenue, 800 euros. So you're talking $2,700, 2,700 euros. Just to pay for Google and Google alone cost them $3,656.87. Euros. 3,000 euros. And remember, they have a fraction of the base of GeoGuessr. So when GeoGuessr is charging people to play more games, it's because every time you click on a location, GeoGuessr gets charged by Google Maps for every usage there is. So, you know, it makes sense why there is a fee for the game. Yeah. I see people all the time. I'll see this complaint. People will be like, "Why don't they just charge a one-time fee?" And it's like, a one-time fee. If they charged you a one-time fee to use GeoGuessr, they would have to charge you like $4,000 for the game, because they don't know how long you're going to play. You could be playing for the next 20 years for all they know. You know, like it's a game where they can't charge you a flat rate, because the flat rate would be so expensive no one would buy the game. They can only make it happen by charging monthly or annual rates so that they can, as time goes on, adjust those rates. So yeah, that's why the game is a pay-to-go game if you want to play unlimited, you know? Yeah. What else we got here? Hey, CG. Hello, Chosen. Welcome. I think I said hello, but hello again. Did the flash sale have any kryptonite arrows? No. Or any tachyon devices? No. If you had watched any of my live stream that I did from there, or the shorts I did from there, you would have seen some of the stuff they had. 3,700 euros. How much is that in dollars? So let me get you a answer to your question, Mr. Okay, 3,700 euros to USD. $4,058 US. So yeah, basically the expense was $4,000 US, and that's for 1 month. 1 month of service. And they are entirely off of donations, and their donations never meet how much they spend just on Google itself. I don't know who runs it, but clearly they have deep enough pockets to lose like $1,000 a month, almost every month. So yeah, but yeah, it's that's why GeoGuessr charges money for it. Now that said, they're now, you know, double dipping. They're, you know, charging you for a service, and then they're not even giving you a good service, but at the same time expecting you to pay for other things now. It's pissed a lot of people off. Like A lot of people have been saying like they have no problem if they want to make this, a microtransaction thing where you can pay for upgrades to an avatar and all that bullshit that 9-year-olds like. That's fine. That's fine. You can go that route if you want, but then you have to make the game free. You have to do one or both. You can't be double dipping because people are right now paying $25 US a year or $3 a month for a game, and then you're expecting them to buy things on top of that for the game. That was the breaking point for a lot of people, So yeah. Honestly, if I wanted to see random corners of the world, I'd look up international live webcams because those are free to see. Sure, I guess you could do that, but the thing is, you'll never really know what you're looking at. You'd have to. I compare that to the difference between Wikipedia and an encyclopedia. An encyclopedia, you have to know what you're looking for and go look for that thing in the encyclopedia. Whereas Wikipedia, you can click on a link and then start reading through and be like, oh, I wonder what that is. Click on that link and then be like, oh, I wonder what that is, and click on that link. That's the difference between Google Maps and like watching a webcam. When you go to watch a live webcam, you're deciding, I want to see what's going on at that in that desert in Namibia. You're typing in Namibia desert webcam as opposed to just going on Google, seeing what there is, having everything in front of you and being like, oh, Namibia. I've never thought to check out Namibia, and then going to check out Namibia. It's that's the comparison, For me, the Flash movie is fine, not great, not bad, fine, but for some reason it was hyped up as the second coming of Jesus. Also, it's funny, but the effects on the CW look better than the multi-million-dollar movie. Yeah, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I did. And how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. I loved the movie when I got out of the movie, but the more time I had to think and process the movie, I downgraded it from loved to it's good. Like, I have not gone to see it a second time. That should tell you something there, because I usually binge watch movies in theaters. Like John Wick, I saw 3 times, So for me to only go see it once kind of tells you a little bit of that it wasn't as amazing as I first thought when I watched it. As for the CGI, yeah, everybody and their dog has mocked the CGI. Fine, So, the character CGIs there did look pretty shitty. No one's doubting that. But it was fine, Anybody going to a movie isn't going to sit there for the duration of the movie and, like, nitpick everything. So the vast majority of people that went to see that movie probably were just like, it was okay. It was fun. It was fine. Whatever. And if people are like, oh, was there anything bad about it? They probably don't have a bad thing to say outside of maybe a piece of dialogue or a specific scene that they didn't like, because they're not sitting there thinking, oh, that CGI doesn't look as good as the CGI from this other movie I watched 4 months ago. They just don't do that. That is 1,000% a superhero fan thing. Only people on the earth that sit around nitpicking CGI are people obsessed with superhero movies or shows. Only people. Your casual viewer that just went to go see it because they saw an ad for it and they're like, oh, that looks cool. Never thought twice about it. Not really, because a lot of webcams are pretty well categorized by country and city. I guess I will get the occasional one in my recommendeds because I watched a couple of ones from Namibia and was it Angola? I think Angola back in the day. And I'll still get the occasional one in my references once in a while, even though I haven't watched one in like a year. But I can't say because I've never spent a lot of time, looking for them, right? Speaking of Blue Beetle, well, we weren't speaking of Blue Beetle, but okay. Speaking of Blue Beetle, me and the Blue Beetle Battalion are really driving the hype for it. Well, good luck. The way things are going with movies right now, I don't know how much luck you're gonna have, man. I mean, Indiana Jones is about to flop as bad as The Flash did. Movies are just struggling right now. Good luck. Good luck. That's all I can say about that. Do you think Grant filmed something for the Flash movie? No. Canada, what camera do you use for Flash set photos? A Canon SX60. Is it in my bag, or do I have to go looking around my room for it? I use it so rarely now, I don't even remember where it might be on any given day. Is it in my bag? Yes, it is. There it is. Yeah. There's an SX70 now, and I almost bought one back during the peak of the pandemic, but then I got lazy, didn't, and it's only slightly better than the one I have, so it wouldn't have been a massive upgrade. It would have been an upgrade. It would have been, I think it's 5 times zoom better than the one I have, and the pixels are like 20% better or something like that. Like, there's small upgrades, but it wasn't enough for me to justify buying a new camera. And good thing I didn't, because I mean, right now I would have no use for it. You know, it would have come in handy for like a year. I would have agreed with you on the CGI bit. However, even regular audiences are nowadays complaining about CGI because it is astonishing how bad effects look. I disagree with you. I don't think the average person's noticing. They're only noticing if somebody brings it to their attention and they're like, yeah, maybe you're right. Like, they're not, it would have to be atrociously bad for someone to actually notice. Because at the end of the day, as bad as you think the CGI is in the Flash movie, it is still better than 98% of CGI stuff from 10 years ago. Still is. And most people that go to see movies on a sporadic basis that are not only superhero fan movie goers are maybe experiencing CGI in a movie 2 to 5 times a year. They're not getting it every week because they're going to watch 4 different superhero movies a month. That is not how your core average movie watcher is doing things. So it's a standard size camera. Do you use those attachments increase the zoom and stuff? Well, I can. So let me turn the camera on. All right. So if you see, like, that's full zoom, and you'll see. Hold on. Actually, that's beyond full zoom. So you'll see on my camera. Can you see it well? Yeah, you can. So you'll see there, it says right there 65 times zoom. Now I could keep zooming in and it will go to like 260, I think it is. Yeah, 260. But all you're really doing when you're doing that, so say this is the whole picture you're taking, okay, at 65 times zoom. At 260 zoom, you're really only taking this small square in the end. That's all it's doing, is it's just cropping in on the thing. You're not actually zooming in much more. So you get this really pixelated looking photo, which I've done sometimes because I am trying to figure out what's going on in a scene or something. But it's not good quality. It's atrocious quality. Yeah. Did you see the new Indiana Jones movie? No. Yeah, surprisingly warm. It's the name for the fans' hero's journey. It's the name for the fans. I don't know what that was in reference to. I think the whole let's spend $200 million on IP movies to make back $1 billion has finally started to show its vast problem. I think there's a lot of problems right now. So the movie industry kind of shot itself in the foot during COVID. They didn't know it. They didn't know they were doing it, but they kind of did. because they were willing to give these people things in their home for technically free during COVID, it really minimized people's value of going to the movies. When we came out of COVID, they were still hesitant to go to the movies, and they didn't have to worry about going to the movies because 6 to 10 weeks later, that's ending up on their streaming service. So what happened was the movies were still spending all this money for movie theatrical releases, but they're giving it to people so quickly at home that people aren't motivated to go see it in the movies. They have to go back to the days where they sit on a property for 6 months before they release it on streaming, or else people are never going to come back to the theater. And those $200 million movies you made are going to constantly get 50 to 125 million in gate receipts and a few million more in streaming. What do you call that when you sign up for it? Sign ups. This is going to constantly happen to them. They have to have the balls to just sit on a fucking property for 6 months. John Wick was still in the theater here down the street from my house the day that it was fucking released on streaming. It was still in the theater. The Flash is going to be the same way. No one's going to see the movie in week fucking 3 when they know 2 weeks later it's going to be out on streaming. No movie's ever going to be a $1 billion movie again, ever, as long as they keep doing this. As long as they keep feeding into sit-at-home fans, never, ever, 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 ever are they going to have another $1 billion movie. What movie is going to come out that people are going to be like, oh, you know what? I really have to see that now because it might not be out for 6 months. No, it'll be out in 6 weeks. You know? It is, they shot themselves in the foot, but they couldn't have known it at that time. What they could have known is when they got out of the pandemic was to go back to the old ways. Unfortunately, they haven't because they're so desperate to cut their losses on things or to try and break even or to make a small profit that they rush it out to streaming as fast as possible, and it's shooting themselves in the foot. Yeah. Is the downtown Smallville set still up? Yeah. If you go on my YouTube, under the shorts section, I posted a video like a month ago from there. What's an IP? Well, okay, someone answered it for you already. So has the final season of Doom Patrol been canceled because of the actresses is alluding to it? What? What are you talking about? You're gonna have to give me way more information than you did in that post. I don't, first of all, follow Doom Patrol. I don't even know I can't name an actor on the show. You're gonna have to give me way more information. Isn't Doom Patrol like ready to be aired? Like, didn't they shoot the final season already? I'm pretty sure they did, right? Apparently I didn't type in anything. Fuck off. Was season 4 their final season, or is there season 5? I see. Oh, season 4 was aired like many months ago. So you must be talking about season 5. Let me see. Doom Patrol season 5. What I can find out. According to an article back in January, there's no season 5. So, yeah, their show got canceled, like back in January. Um. Think he is asking that we're not getting Doom Patrol the last 6 episodes because maybe the writer strike causing them not sending it. The second half of season 4, there's no season. Oh, it's one of those like Lucifer type situations. I see. Okay. Well, in that case, then yeah, it'll be out sooner or later. I mean, it's already been filmed. They wouldn't have taken a break in the middle of the season. They would have just kept filming throughout it. So it's long. The other episodes aired like 7 months ago, so it filmed like a year ago. So it's just sitting waiting to be released. It's like when Lucifer filmed theirs. The second half didn't come out for like 6 more months, right? So yeah, it'll be out sooner or later, probably whenever there's a spot that they feel they need to fill. Who's carrying Doom Patrol? I don't even know. Oh, it's on HBO Max. Yeah, whenever HBO Max feels like putting it out, it'll be out. When they feel like they need to boost their viewership numbers a little, they'll be like, this is going to get us, anywhere from 10,000 to 250,000 new subscribers. We'll just push that out there and do that, So that's literally, it's just sitting around waiting to be released. Have you ever thought of making merch? Nope. I've never bought a streamer's merch, and I don't understand why. Like, I would never walk around wearing someone else's like shirt from a live stream. Why would anyone want to wear mine, right? The final episodes are being held hostage because of the strike. Definitely. How would the strike have anything to do with this at all? They're already written. They're already filmed. They're already done. If anything, you would think they would get them out sooner so that they can take advantage of not having to pay off the writers for royalties down the line. Because that's going to be a thing that's going to get implemented when they finally have a deal. You would think they would get it out faster so that they can get ahead of the new deal. They're just waiting for whatever time they look and they're like, HBO Max has got a lull right now. We're losing subscribers. What can we put out to get some subscribers back? Because that's the only reason they put things out. They don't put them out because they really fucking love you as patrons. They're like, our bottom line says we lost X amount of dollars last month. Let's boost those numbers with something. You see anything good recently on film TV wise? Not really. I haven't watched anything new in a long time. I don't know how season 4 is supposed to work in Smallville when the cast they cut basically made up the important townies. Well, John and his daughter are going to Metropolis. Granddad is probably dead. Chrissy and Kyle, with her pregnancy, maybe she'll move out of town or something and he'll go with her. And then Lana and her daughter is the weird one because she's the mayor of the town right now. So I don't know. The only thing I can say on that is we just won't see the everyday in-town life of them as much. And she'll come by for a guest spot for like 2 or 3 episodes. That's about the best guesstimate I could make on what's maybe going to happen with them. I could definitely see a couple of studios doing like some sort of tax write-off on their streaming services. I know just because Warner Brothers did it a whole bunch and a couple other places have done it to cut down on paying writers. People think this is a thing, but they're not going to do that with a new property. No. That's not a thing that's viable. That's a thing Warner Brothers did when they were trying to like get under their bottom line. And other places have done it as a way to try and punish writers, but that's not a real thing. That's not a thing that's going to be every day You're not just going to wake up tomorrow and NBC is going to be like, we're never fucking showing Friends on air again because they haven't filmed anything new. No, they're going to fucking keep putting Friends on the air even if they have to pay out to everybody on the show because it's still going to make them money. You know, they might cut things eventually in like 2 years when it's not profitable, but they're not going to cut it before it aired. Smallville, but everyone important to it is just a guest role. Sounds wild. Yeah, but that's the reality that they live in at the moment. You know. So 3 weeks ago, Mutual talked to Shoshana Sachi, one of the producers and writers of Doom Patrol. And the reason why there's no Doom Patrol 4B yet is because HBO is kind of holding it hostage of the strike. I find that really weird on HBO's behalf because it would be in their benefit to get it out now before a new deal is brokered. I don't understand that. They would want to get this out while the old deal is in place so they don't have to pay these fucking people royalties down the line. They tweeted out the screenshots of the conversation if you want to see it. Yeah, if you want to DM me that, feel free to DM that to me and I'll take a quick look at it. That still sounds bizarrely weird to me. I heard something like they were moving to Metropolis. Has that been confirmed? No, that has not been confirmed. Based off how the end of the season ended, it's not going to happen, right? I don't know what they're going to do because they don't have the Kent farm next season. The only thing I thought of this recently. So everybody in Vancouver knows the Kent farm, where it is currently, will not be there. The owners of the property wanted so much money they drove them out of there. What if they just, because the Kent farm isn't a real property that sits on that grounds. They built it solely for the show. It is a prop house. All you have to do is take the house apart, move it to a new fucking farm that kind of looks the same, new Kent farm. I think that could be a thing they did. Could be a thing they did. But we won't know until we know, you know. Mostly on farm or crew move back to Smallville. Mostly on farm or crew move back to Small. I don't know what that meant. So would Lex use the same suit Steel uses, but green? I don't know. I like how you've been to enough of my streams. You think I know what that means? Would you prefer Superman and Lois series ended on season 3 and we got a proper ending to all the other Arrowverse shows instead, or are you okay with how things currently are with only a season 4 Superman and Lois? I'm fine with the way it is currently. Superman and Lois was never going to wrap up the Arrowverse, so I'd rather have a season 4. And what would a proper ending look like to the fucking Arrowverse? There's 6 shows in it. You can't wrap up 6 shows on one show. You just can't. You can't even probably wrap up one show on one show. You can't. Proper endings are a fucking myth. Tell me the last show you've ever watched that had a proper ending. They don't exist. Every single show that's ever had an ending has had more than half of the fans pissed off about it. So you expect them to wrap up 6 shows in their show? Come on, man. I thought the Kent farm was the same as the Smallville farm. No, it's not. Smallville farm, I don't know why they couldn't go back to the Smallville farm, but I think because they're going to be using it so often, the Smallville farm wasn't an option, because whoever owned the Smallville farm when Smallville was filming, you're talking 12 plus years ago now. The new owner probably was like, we're fine renting it out to you for a few days for a crisis, but we can't have you here for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? They probably live in there. They're like, we're not going to live in a hotel for 6 months, you know? Countergraph, am I the only one who thinks this Superman lives too good of a life? I have no idea what you mean. All the other CW heroes, they lost so many people to villains, but this character never suffers any real pain. It's also only in season 3, guy. Going into season 4. I mean, you know, I hate to point out the obvious, but his parents are dead. His wife had breast cancer. You know, like he hasn't had nothing happen. How big of a time jump are you expecting between season 4 and season 4? Huh? How big of a time jump are you expecting between season 4 and season 4's main story? Do you mean 3 and 4? Is that what you meant? If they commit to Death of Superman, I'm expecting maybe a year before Clark comes back. They're not going to keep Clark out for a year. They've only got 5 regulars. They literally only have 5 regular cast. They are not keeping Clark out for a season. How many languages can you speak? Almost 1. Almost 1. I feel like the show lacks stakes. They never kill off any characters. Explain that to Clark's parents. We literally started the show with them going to a funeral. There's a good chance Lois's dad just died. Onomatopoeia died. Like, people die all the time on the show. That woman had a proper ending? No, it didn't. There was so much. It had the closest thing to an ending that any of the Arrowverse shows outside of maybe Arrow had, but not a proper ending. No one walked away from that going, oh, you know what, I'm satisfied. They could never do another episode of that. No, a lot of people had questions still. Do you think Superman and Lois will do a time jump when they return? Yeah, of course. It's going to be like a year before they even start filming it. Like, do you think they're just going to be like, well, Jordan and Jonathan all of a sudden look a year and a half older? And like, no, they're going to 100% there'll be a time jump. They just have to do it because there's going to be such a long break before they even get to filming. It's going to feel like a year. I doubt the deal CW cut was good enough to justify those cheap skates making season 5, so season 4 might as well wrap up the series premise of Clark and Lois as parents and let the twins enter adulthood. Nah. I don't know what you want me to do with that comment. You're right, but we have never seen a villain get in Superman's skin. Okay. I meant between 3 and 4. Yeah, I after I read it a couple times, I thought that's what you meant, but yeah. Basically, I meant 401 would pick up a year after 313. I think there's a reasonable chance. Best case scenario, is like a 6-month time jump. And then there might be another time jump a couple episodes later to get us up to that year later mark. Because you got to remember, by the time it airs, it's going to have been about a year since the finale when the premiere comes out. So it might even be more. It might be like a year and a half if they hold it off until the fall season. In regards to Lois's character, I never felt anything because her name is in the title of the show and I knew she had infinite plot armor. I would have been in suspense of John. Yeah, I feel the same way. I thought it was a really risky and weird idea for them to do this story since we all know Lois is never going to die. But they did it. They did it really well. They definitely made you feel things throughout it, but it was just a weird choice. They did a great job with it, but a weird choice. Do you think movies' budgets are too high nowadays? Because I think they are. Yes, obviously. But that is also just to do with the reality of life, right? A $200 million movie now would only have been a $100 million movie 10 years ago. Exact same stuff would have happened, exact same actors, exact same CGI desires, but inflation has just pushed it to 200 million. So when you say a $200 million movie right now, you've got to think of this in the sense of 2010 $100 million movie. Think of it the same way, because that is basically what you're buying. So when you hear something that's like $400 million for a movie, people start to be panicking like, oh my God, $400 million for a movie. How can you spend that much? That's really the equivalent of a $200 million movie 10 years ago. You know? Right now, don't forget, writers are on strike right now. Directors just got a new deal. Actors are about to go on strike. Everyone's going to be getting pay increases again. All those people are paid. That's increases in the budget across the board. So, yeah. How many Pepsis you slam back so far? Like what, in a day? A slow day, 3. Busy day, like 6, 7. They should do President-elect story because 2024 election year. No, they just had a real life story, man. They're not going to follow it up with 2. There's no fucking way in hell they're doing back-to-back too close to home stories. People already were mad at them for this story, even though it was amazing, even though the content was quality. A lot of people didn't watch this season because of the story arc. There is no fucking way in the world they're doing back-to-back seasons of too close to home stories. No chance. They took one risk and it kind of bit them in the ass. They're not gonna try and take 2 risks. Stephen Amell in an old interview said they could make Arrow a movie for $30 million. Do you believe him? Nope. I mean, yeah, but no. Anybody can make the movie for $30 million. Doesn't mean it's going to be good. After Dylan Walsh, who else is likely to turn down season 4 altogether? I'd say far and away he is the only one that's a sure thing. Thing is, Dylan Walsh has a deep resume and is an experienced actor and probably is in demand. The rest of that roster is pretty thin on resume. There's nobody that's ever been like, oh, I know Indy Navarrete from anything other than Superman and Lois. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dylan Walsh has a resume. Like, I remember when he got cast, there was things people were throwing around. They're like, oh, I know him from this. I don't know his resume, but I know he's got a good one. Yeah, he was in Nip Tuck for 100 episodes. He did 12 episodes of Blue Bloods. He did 13 episodes of Life Sentence. 61 episodes of Unforgettable. That's where I knew him from. 22 episodes of Brooklyn South. 22 episodes of Gabriel's Fire. And then other things going all the way back to 1987. Like, the guy has a resume. He is not going to be struggling to find work. And that is why I think he turned it down, because he would have had to commit to not taking better gigs. It is one thing to take a 1 to 3 episode guest star spot when either A, that's the only thing you've really got lined up, or B, it comes on short notice and you're like, I've got the opening right now, I can do it. It is another thing to commit to taking a 1 to 3 episode guest star spot for something that is a year down the line when you probably have other projects already being offered to you. That is the difference. He would have had to essentially turn down more work than he's going to make off this project. The others, not so much the case. Are you watching Secret Invasion? Nope. The Witcher? No, I watched The Witcher season 1 for like one episode and like this is trash. I know a lot of people love it. I have one of my friends tried to get me into the show twice and I'm like, no, I've fucking watched an episode. This is trash. But I understand there's a lot of people that love it for whatever reason. But it's not for me. How many pillows did I get from the Flash set? That is a good question. Whew! Okay, there's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Give me a second. I believe 8. It might be 9, but 8 at least. Why though wasn't Arrow per episode budget $3 million? 30 million. You're talking TV versus movie, dude. 30 million is 10 times 3. Sorry, I didn't finish my sentence. You're also talking Arrow was done a few years ago on the CW, not for a movie screen. I watched Extraction 2 yesterday. I think it's better than John Wick 1 through 4. Okay, I've never even heard of Extraction 1. Okay. Extraction. Let me see what this is. Extraction. Chris Hemsworth. Oh, okay. Well, the first one's only a 6.8. That's kind of not promising. A lot of... So, I'm guessing... Let me read the thing. Yeah, I mean, it sounds okay. But, I mean, it does only have a 6.8 rating, so I don't know if I would call it better than John Wick. I mean, you can poo-poo IMDb ratings all you want, but there's still some level of validity to them in the end. The second one has a 7.1, so the second one sounds like it was better than the first one. Are you going to join Threads? If they ever disconnect it from Instagram, I will consider it. But it has a lot of work to do. Are you going to see Mission Impossible? Yes. It's got a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's cool. They're always good movies. Like there's never a bad Mission Impossible movie, right? Money was not an issue. How many episodes Superman and Lois theoretically could produce? 18, 23? No. 15, 16-ish, something like that. You got to remember, you have to have the time to do it. It's not about money. If money was the only factor, you could, in theory, make 365 episodes a season. But that's not how things work. You need the time to do those episodes. Money isn't the only factor. Based on what you know about taste, you will love both Extraction movies. All right. I will read up a little bit on them and see what I think. But to be honest, I haven't watched anything new in a while, so the likelihood I all of a sudden pick this up is low. Anything else happening out here in the world? What is this? Okay. I think this is your at messaging me about the Doom Patrol stuff. Okay. Nothing in that post says that it's because of the writer's strike. I'm gonna bring this up so that there's no confusion what I'm saying. Where's my StreamYard? There it is. Okay, this is the tweet that you quote tweeted me. So these replies are apparently from this Shoshana person, and this is the person asking. Said, like, month, I missed the average Ohio superhero, blah, 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 blah. When can we expect it to air? And she replied back, I have no idea. We're on strike, so there's really no communication between the writers and studios right now. That's all there is in this post. That doesn't, this person here, that's a fucking random that asked them this is the one that claims they're holding it hostage. This person said that, not the showrunner. The showrunner just said there's no communication because we're on strike. They can't communicate with them. They're not even allowed to communicate with them because they're on fucking strike. This person here that originally asked this question is the one that claims it's being held hostage. They know fuck all. All right. Anyways, so now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Where was I here? It's only 12:30 in the afternoon and I'm kind of tired. I gotta go do the Leo Awards in a little while, so I maybe should take a nap soon. Oopsie. I think I just muted myself. And I also have to stop screen. There we go. So yeah. Short answer, nobody from the production said that. Long answer, I think you heard my long answer. I see there's a second one you quote tweeted me. Who's this Killmonger guy? Him hearing rumors means fuck all. People need to stop just like seeing someone tweet something on the internet and being like, oh, well, I heard a rumor. Like, it's got to come from a real source, man. Come on. I've been doing this for 2 years. I thought some of you would like would know the difference between just like a guy on Twitter and a source by now. Not trying to be mean about it, but like that was a pretty easy one to tear apart. Where was I? Do you think the Superman and Lois writers can actually pull off 10 episodes? Season 3 felt like it was still written for 15. The storyline was good, but it felt like they were going in circles most of the time. Yeah, of course I feel they can. Have you seen my adventures with Superman yet? I didn't know you had an adventure with Superman, Maya. Congratulations, I guess. What did you do? Did you go on a picnic? Did you do some skydiving? Did you play lawn darts? What happened? I have no idea what you're talking about, Maya. Sorry. By any chance, have you seen the show Severance? Nope. It's pretty good. Reminds me Smallville. Can't wait to see how plays out as Superman lore. I know nothing of what you're saying, man. I don't know how many times a year I tell you guys just I don't watch a lot of stuff, especially animated stuff. LOL, the animated show on perfect. I don't watch animated almost never. Almost never. Certainly don't think I've watched a superhero animated thing in a long time. Last animated thing I think I watched was like BoJack Horseman. Like, it's rare. Yeah, I'm not a big animated TV watcher. All right. I think I'm going to wrap this up in a few minutes because I kind of think I want a nap. I have to do the Leo Awards in like 3 hours, so maybe I think I will. Do you think Rick and Morty will go downhill without Justin Roiland? I don't know. I didn't even watch last season of Rick and Morty. I kind of forgot about it. I don't know. I haven't even watched last season, so I don't know. Probably not, but who knows? Wait, what's Bullbox Hairman's? I have no idea what Bullbox Hairman's is. All right. Incoming, the dreaded question or statement everybody was expecting. Any comments beyond this point that are not super chats may not get answered depending on time period and send period now period. All right, I gave you guys enough time to get your questions in. The animated show you watched last, BoJack Horseman, which sounds nothing like Bullbox Hairsman. Bullbox, I still. Okay. Now that I know what you were trying to ask, that I'm even more amused. Will you watch Oppenheimer or Barbie? Well, of course I'll never watch Barbie. That looks stupid as fuck. Oppenheimer, probably not, but at least it might be interesting. Barbie's just the dumbest idea that's ever been thought up on film. Oppenheimer, I mean, I already kind of know the story of Oppenheimer, so it's not like they're going to reveal a lot unless they create some new things. I don't think I'll watch it, but who knows? There's at least a small chance somewhere down the line I do, but I don't see me going out of my way to watch it. Yep, that is a good animation show. Or are you talking about BoJack? BoJack Horseman? That the one you're talking about? Because if so, it's a great show. It tackles some very serious topics at times, but it's great. I would possibly... Where would I put it? I think for quality, it's first or second. For entertainment value, it's maybe second or third out of all the ones I've ever watched. Like Rick and Morty would be right there with it for first and second. And, you know, there's probably something else that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head that's probably there with it for entertainment value. But quality, it's right there. A lot of serious topics they tackle throughout the run of the show. But it is always good. South Park, Archer. Archer was in its prime amazing. I loved the first 5 or 6 seasons of Archer. Fucking loved them. Then when they had to get rid of the name of their agency because of its connection to, you know, a real world thing, it kind of fell off then. Like, I don't think it was because of that, but the timing of it kind of was that point where they went from a show that was a 10 out of 10 to like a 7 out of 10. I don't know what all was going on that caused it, but they lost. They really took a hard dive down the hill. I haven't even watched the last season, maybe even 2 seasons of it. South Park was good on and off in its time. I haven't watched a new South Park in probably a decade. Like, you know, South Park, The Simpsons, stuff like that that's been on so long that there's people actively that are younger than the show itself. I haven't watched those in a long, long time. Doesn't mean they're not bad. I just haven't watched them in a long time. Yeah. You know, same with like Family Guy. I don't even know, is Family Guy still on the air? I don't even know. Like if I was to name all the animated shows that I really, really, really liked, Rick and Morty, BoJack, Archer. South Park was pretty good. Simpsons were in its early days pretty good. Family Guy was in its days good. Futurama. There might be like one or two more that I'm not thinking of. There was one I used to watch, and it was literally like 6 episodes long, but they repeated it so often on my TV that I probably, in its prime, I probably knew it word for word, because it was only 6 episodes, but they would play it over and over again every night. What the fuck was it now? Oh, Undergrads. It was only like 6 or 8 episodes, but that was a good show. I actually think the first 3 seasons of South Park are mid. It didn't hit its stride for you till season 4. After that, all the seasons have been great for you. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that's it for. Let me just look at my all-time favorites list and see if there's any I'm missing. Best and worst. Where's best and worst? There it is. All right, let's see if there's any I'm missing. Okay, Rick and Morty. Got that already. Trying to remember which ones are animated. Futurama, got that already. BoJack Horseman, got that already. Archer, got that. Family Guy, got that. South Park, got that. Huh. Literally all the ones I named are already on my list. Yeah, it didn't miss any. So yeah, those are all the ones that I basically have watched that I liked. But that appears to be it for today, children. I don't know when I'm going to be on again, so don't ask. Are you going to watch the new season of Futurama? I only heard yesterday about that. Maybe. I don't know if I'm caught up on it. Like, I know it went away for a while and then came back and then went away again and now it's coming back again. I can't remember if I watched any of the new stuff. It's been so long. I can't remember what I've watched. You know, these shows have like 3rd lives and 4th lives now. I don't remember how far into them I've watched. Let me see. Futurama, 1999. It's been around for 24 years now. And there's only 11 seasons. Yeah, nothing in season 11 sounds familiar. Oh my god, it was only this year. Oh, it's the episodes that haven't come out yet. That's why. Okay, let's try season 10. When was season 10? 2013. 8 years between, or 10 years between seasons. Yeah, I don't think I've watched season 10. So I have no idea how far behind I am on it. But we'll see. Who knows? It looks like I'm going to have a lot of free time for the next while. I mean, in the last month, I have worked 4 days, 5 days in the last month. Since April 2nd, let's say April 3rd. Since April 3rd, I've worked 6 days. July 8th, June 28th, June 26th, June 27th, June 17th, June 2nd. That's all I've worked since April 3rd. So I've had a lot of free time. We'll see. But this is the end of the road for today. I will see you all sometime in the future? Question mark? I don't know actually when I'll be on again. It's been 11 days since my last stream, and it felt like 3 weeks. So who knows? Maybe I'll be on in 4 days, and I'll think it's been like 2 weeks. We'll see. We will see what goes on then. But thanks for coming by. If you have any suggestions for topics for a stream, and I have not made a mention in my communities tab, you know what? Let me just give you a second here. Sorry, I just hiccuped on there. All right. You can always just post a topic on whatever the newest post is on there, even if it's not related to the thing. Just be like, here's a topic for the next live stream, and I'll try and keep track of them. That way, when I get here, at least you won't be like 20 minutes into it being like, have you heard of this thing? And I'll be like, no. I might not have a good opinion on it. I might have no opinion on it, but at least I'll be able to be like, oh, yeah, I heard of it because you sent me the update on it. But besides that, I am out of here until who knows when. If you are living in the Northern Hemisphere, try and stay a little cool. It's getting warm again. And if you're living in the Southern Hemisphere, I am jealous of you at the moment. All right. I will talk to you all later. Have a good one. Bye.